We're going to do a little project now using some charcoal pencils with a selection of coloured tinted charcoal and normal dark charcoal, and also we're going to put in a little bit of compressed charcoal in the form of a block. The selection of pencils includes a white, green moss, sand and a dark natural charcoal. Right, so we're going to use the charcoal pencils to draw a cat's eye, and we're going to start off with the Derwent charcoal pencil, the dark one. And we're just going to simply put in the shape just to start us off. So we're going to put a nice smooth curve around there, which will form the top of the cat's eye eventually. And then we'll have a line coming in that starts just before the end, each end there. So that's the basic shape that we're going to work with. We're then going to take the charcoal block, and I'm going to use a sandpaper block, just sand it on the sandpaper block just to get the edge even. Sometimes you'll find there's a slight unevenness about them when you first get them out of the pack, so it's always best to just give them a little rub on the sandpaper block. So we're going to use this block to add in quite a bit of tone around the shape of the eye. So on the side you can see it's a lovely soft texture that it puts in. I'm kind of doing it in the direction that the fur would come out, and it's just going to give us a nice background to the eye itself. Okay, we're going to use that as a base for the pencil work over the top. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the pencils. I'm going to use the dark again, and I'm going to really start to work into these lines. Right along the bottom. I'm going to add the pupil. So we'll give them quite a big start with there, and I'm just going to really just gently cover over the whole of that area. We'll go back onto that later and add some highlights. So I'll just cover over all of that. We're going to work on top, so I'll be able to blend it in a bit more. Okay. Then we're going to add some colour to the rest of the eye using the sand pencil. I'm literally going to colour in the whole of this part of the eye. We're just roughly, colouring in here. We're going to blend it all out and make it lovely and smooth in a little while. So it's just a case of getting down the colour. Okay. I'm going to pick up the green moss now. The colours in the tinted charcoal range are beautiful. They're all lovely natural colours, so great for drawing, well, natural things, animals, landscapes. That's what people enjoy using for. I'm just adding a bit of green, using some squiggles into the colour of the eye. Then what we're going to do is pick up a paper stump and just start blending that colour in together. See how really easily it smooths out and we get a very even tone. I'm also going to smooth over the black part, but before I do, I'm just going to clean the paper stump on the sandpaper block. And this is the best way to sharpen these and keep them clean. Just give them a little rub around there. There we go. That's nice and clean again. And then we can go into the black area. So we'll smudge that out as well. Okay, next step then, we're going to go back to the dark black pencil and we're going to work in to the sort of outline of the eye, which is very, very dark. Almost like eyeliner. Very thick line around the bottom of the eye, into the corners of the eye, and then along the top, it's more like a shadow that we're putting in here that's generated by the hairs that overhang. So what we're going to do is actually work some dark zigzag scratchy marks over the top of the eye, and then just work very gently underneath, like a shadow area, which will really start to put a bit of 3D into the drawing. Right then, I'm going to use the sand pencil. So we're going to start adding in some hair along the top of the eye there. I'm going to really work over and over this area. And we're picking up some other colours as well, just to really start bringing out the hairs. I'm also going to go along the bottom of the eye with the sand pencil. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap. I'm going to go right up to the black line because that area would be quite highlighted. So we'll want to keep some white showing there. The odd bit can go in, that's fine, but we just don't want to cover it in a block colour. I think whilst we're about that, we'll put some black into those. I know it looks quite, well, extremely contrasting and probably a bit too much, but we're going to go over the top of this again and it'll blend the black in. Let's put a bit more into that area. And then we'll take the sand back in again. You can see how the colours start to blend together. Okay, I think it's time we brought the white pencil in actually. We'll take hold of that and we're going to actually run it right the way along, but we haven't really coloured it in yet. To really accentuate the highlight there, where the light would catch. And then we're going to start taking the white over the top of these hairs that we've already put in. You can really use the white to push the other colours around a bit and almost direct the hair movements. That's starting to pick up now. And we'd better do the same thing along the top. So I'll take some white. And this time we're creating hairs that overhang the eye, so we'll do it individually. There we go. Okay, I think we just need to add a little bit more colour to the eye itself, so I'm going to add a little bit of green around the edges. Again, we'll probably blend this in a bit, but we don't just want a solid piece of colour here. I'm going to go over the top with the sand again, just to get rid of those little specks of white that are still lingering around. I'll work into the green slightly. Okay. Now let's take the green, actually, we'll keep hold of the green. We'll add a little bit of green in to the pupil of the eye because it's not a solid black. I'll add a little bit of tone in there. Okay. So we're going to pick up the green moss again, and I'm just going to use it to add a little bit more shadow to the bottom of the eye here. Right the way around. Really touch on the black so it blends in together almost. There we go. Okay, the next step then I think is to use the white pencil. Let's give that a little blow. Let's put a little highlight across the whole eye so it's not just in the black because it would reflect anywhere. So let's just have a little, mark out a little area here. And then I'm just going to work into that with the white. Now, as we're working on top, it's blending in. It's not as drastic as just leaving a white area without any colour on it. Excellent. We'll start, let's put another one in just below it, I think, just to accentuate the highlights there. That's starting to look more like an eye. And now I think what we'll do, just to make some really, really bright highlights, we're going to use the eraser shield, which comes in the drawing tools kit. And I'm going to place that, let's say down here over the eye. I'm going to use that hole there. And I'm just going to start erasing into that space. That should protect the rest of the drawing. Give us a nice highlight. Great little tool this for putting in highlights. In fact, we could put another one in near the top of the eye, I think. We'll use half of that large hole there. And just erase in. There we go. I might think that maybe looks a bit too bright, so we can just dull it down a bit if you like. And then we're just going to really work around those just to bring them out a little bit with the black pencil. Around the edges of the pupil. Make sure it's dark under the hairs. And then we'll use the paper stump and just blend that in a bit. Okay, I think the only thing we need to do now then is just finish off some of the hairs. Probably need a little bit more sand pencil up here. Okay, take the hair as far or as near to the eye as you like. Just like that, I'm going to darken this edge here so it brings out that highlight around the eye a bit. So finally, I'm just going to use the white to gently kind of blend in the colours from the eye, bring a little bit of highlight in there, but not too much. It's gentle movements I'm using here. Just kind of smooth things over with the white, and then I think maybe just put a few bits of white in the area above the eye. There we go. I think we're pretty much finished.